Everyone, I'm Akshat, and today I'll be talking about AES encryption. More specifically, I'll be talking about AES encryption, the various steps in AES encryption, and how I implemented those steps in Python. So, my program will print all the intermediate steps of AES encryption, so you can see all the key expansions as well as the output at every round. And my code will not be adding any padding, therefore, the input and the key should be of 16 bytes. And so yeah, let's move on. Right, let's begin. So the first step of encryption is processing the input. So we convert the given string of plain text and key to a matrix of hex values. Over here, the initial state holds the original plain text matrix. The final state will hold the encrypted matrix after processing, and initial key will hold all the round keys. Since the input and output are of 16 bytes, we process the input 4 times with batch size of 4. That's why over here, as you can see, the loop runs 2 times, each with a length of 4. And then, so the temp array stores the original plaintext matrix to print later. Temp1 stores the hex values of key for the current 4 characters. Temp2 does the same for plaintext. And the total stores the count of characters processed, which in turn gives us the next character to process. Therefore, inside the for loop, we first get the character for the string, convert it to integer ASCII using built-in odd function, and then convert this integer to hexadecimal using hex built-in function, and finally append the result to corresponding temporary array. And after that, we append this temporary array to the corresponding initial arrays to give a matrix. Finally, print the given plaintext and key matrix. The print matrix function, as you can see over here, the print matrix function takes the matrix as an argument, and since all hex values in Python begin with 0x, we use lstrip to remove the 0x from the beginning, and also if the value is 0x00, then the result from lstring is an empty string, therefore we explicitly check for that case. And also if after removing the 0x only one value is left, then we add 0 just to make it look better while printing. Finally, we print the values. Here the values are printed column wise. As you can see, we are first printing j and then we are printing I. So moving on to key expansion. Yeah. So in the key expansion, the key expansion function takes 4 arguments: the current key, the round number, the round constant array, and the xbox matrix. We first get the round constant for the current round using the round constant array and the round number. And then we generate the intermediate value, which will help us calculate the next set of keys. This intermediate value is denoted by GW3. So the first step is circle byte left shift. As you can see in the comment, this is a simple left shift where the first index goes to the last index, the second goes to first, etc. This is implemented by creating another list and just populating the list with the right index values. The next step is byte substitution. Basically, in this step, we look at the current value and find the corresponding byte to substitute in the SBox. Since the hex ASCII is 16 bits, since the hex ASCII is of 8 bits, the most significant 4 bits denote the row and the remaining 4 bits denote the column in the SBox. In Python, therefore, the index of most significant 4 bits is 2, as 0 and 1 index is taken by the 0x for hex, and 3 is the index of the remaining 4 bits. Also, we convert the hex value to integer, as we cannot pass hex values as index values in array. Then some steps to include 0 in case of single digit number is done. This is so that the index of MSB and remaining bits remain intact. The next step is adding round constant. So adding the round constant is always added to the value of the intermediate key. It is just a simple bitwise XOR of a round constant and the first value of the intermediate key, done using the cap operator. Before XOR, some edge cases are taken care of, where when we use the lstrip function, there is only one digit after 0 in x, which causes problems with the index values. Therefore, what we do is if there is only a single digit of length 1, so over here, so what we do is we append a 0 before the x. And yeah, and then after that we do the XOR value, XOR operation. At this point our intermediate key is ready. So we then find the first key values of the next round key. This is done by the simple XOR of the first value in the current round key and the intermediate key we just generated. Since there are 4 values in each of these, we run a for loop of count 4 and find the XOR of these elements one by one and append it to the array. So as you can see, we first find W4 over here, and then we run the loop 4 times, and then we bitwise XOR while taking care of the special edge cases that I mentioned before. And over here we do the XOR and we append it to the value. The same thing is done for W5, W6 and W7. We just have to change the values with which we XOR. So the same process repeated, and we append all these values with corresponding arrays and finally return an array of these arrays, thus giving us the matrix of the next round keys. So as you can see, we appended W6, W7 and W5 over here, and finally we return the array of all those arrays. So yeah, this is just an example to show how the key expansion for each and every round will be there, like what keys will be there. So moving on to the next, it is add round key. This is a very simple round in which we just bitwise XOR the elements of the plain text and the key for that round. So it takes two arguments. The first is the plain text and the second is the round key for that round. We convert the hex values to integers, keeping in mind if the value is 0x00, then lstrip returns empty string. So we handle that case separately. X stores the integers of value of plain text, Y stores the key, and Z is the XOR of X and Y. We then change the plain text matrix to the resulting XOR value. So this is done in here, the AND round key. So now we're going to start with the 10 rounds. So the first is round 0. So round 0 is basically the add round key. Over here we have done the add round key for the initial state and the initial key, and yeah, that is only round 0. So moving on to the 10 rounds. So since there are going to be 10 rounds, we are running a loop from 1 to 11 since the upper bound is not included in the range function. So we first do the key expansion and get the key for this round. So basically every round has the following steps, that is substitute byte, shift rows, mix columns, which is not done in the 10th round, and finally add round key. So I've already discussed the last step, that is the add round key. So and I've made the function for the other rounds, and I'll be explaining what those other rounds are. So let's look at substitute byte. So over here we are doing the substitute byte, that is the first step in the round, and looking at the function over here we have substitute byte. So basically this function takes two arguments, the plain text and the sbox. This step was partly covered in key expansion steps. We basically look at the most significant 4 bits for the row and the remaining for the column in the sbox matrix, and just substitute that value in the plain text matrix. For example, if the value is 0xfa, then we first extract f, which is the second index, then convert it to the integer, which is 15. Then look at the 15th row in the sbox. Then we extract a, convert it to an integer, which is 10, and hence look at the 10th column as sbox. The value at this position is the new value at which 0xfa is present. We do this process for all the values of the plain text matrix. So therefore you see there are two for loops, each running 4 times, which will give us 16. That is the size of our matrix, and this value is repeated. Finally we return the modified matrix. Moving on to shift rows. This function takes only one argument, that is the plain text. This step is a straightforward circular left shift of all the rows except the first row. So the second row gets shifted by 1 space, the third row gets shifted by 2 spaces, and the last row gets shifted by 3 spaces. Spaces basically means the number of times the value at position x is shifted to the left. This is easy to implement in Python. We just have to replace the values with the correct indexes. This is indicated in the comment. The left side indicates the original indexes of the values and the right side indicates the values of indexes after shifting to the left. Here are some examples of substitution bytes and shift row. So here, so 00 will correspond to 63, 3C corresponds to EB, 6E corresponds to 9F, and so on. And in shift rows, as you can see, the first row is not changed. In the second row, 2F left shifts to this position. 93 over here shifts to this position, 92 to 93's position, and C0 will shift to the last position, that is over here. Similarly, the second last and last row are done. So now we'll move on to mixed columns. So in mixed columns, two functions are used to implement this step. The first function, that is the parent function, takes the plain text. So over here, this is the parent function. So this takes the plain text and two pre-computed matrices, which I will explain. And the child function takes a single column that from the plain text and the two pre-computed matrices. So in this step, a fixed matrix is taken and element-wise operation is done. So if the element is 1, then nothing is done to the plain text. If the element is 2, then the current plain text element is taken and XORed with binary 2. If the element is 3, then the current plain text element is taken and XORed first with binary 2 and then the result is XORed with the unchanged current plain text. Finally, all the 4 elements are XORed together. Since this is too complex to implement, so there is an easier method to do this. So what to reduce the execution time and the coding complexities, the pre-computed values for all the possible combinations are taken. This is the pre-computed value of mul2 and mul3. So I will show you the matrix. This is the SBox matrix and this is the mul2 and mul3. So basically when multiplied by 2, we have all the possible combinations that can happen. So we don't have to XOR every time. So yeah, therefore as you can see in the parent function, we will call the column. So there are 4 columns, that's why the answer will be 4 times. So we'll call the column. So in each column, we will perform the specific operation. So I'll show you in this over here in this example. So 63 is going with 2, 3 is going with 2f, 01 is going with af, and this 01 is going with a2. So basically what we are doing is I, j, k, l are the 4 steps. So I will be mul2 over here, j is mul3, k is 1, and h is 1. So the corresponding steps are taken over here and finally all the values are set. So this step is repeated 4 more times for all of these rows. And finally we append all of them into a temporary array and we return that. That is the mixed column function. After the mixed column is done, we move on to add round key for that specific round. I've already explained add round key. This is the same add round key as we did for round 0. And add round key marks the end of the current round. After this, we again repeat the substitution, shift rows, mixed columns, and again add round. This is done 10 times. So as you can see over here, first we key expand to get the current round key, then we substitute, shift rows, mixed columns, add round key. Again the loop is repeated, key expansion, and etc. and so on. So finally, after all of this is done, we print the original message and the ciphertext. Alright, so I'll be running the module now. Yeah, and as you can see, this is the output. So this is the initial. So I'll actually show it along with the original in the PPT what we have. Okay, so over here you can see, so 54, so this is the key matrix. So 54, 68, 61, 74, 73. This is arranged column wise. So similarly, you can see the plain text matrix is also arranged column wise. So this is the output after adding round 0. So yeah, after round 0, this is the output. So and then you have round 1, round 1 key, substitution, shift rows, mix column, and after add round key. So you can see the round 1 key over here. So yeah, move this round key. So E232FC, E232FC, and so on. So you can see this goes on for 10 rounds, round 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. As you can see in the 10th round, we don't do mix columns. We only do substitution, shift rows, and add round key. Finally, we print the original message, and there's the ciphertext. Thank you. So yeah, to conclude, I would like to say that because of the various steps involved in AES encryption, as you saw, like the various rounds as well as the mixed columns, it is very hard to crack a plain text which is encrypted using AES encryption, and therefore it is widely used in the world. And yeah, hope you liked it.